Hello Ice and Fire Nerds, this is Chris and welcome back to another Game of Thrones Season 7 prep video. We're going to get back into the Foreshadowing series. I apologize, it's been a few weeks, but we had teasers come out, we had some new pictures come out, and I was out of town a few days as well. So anyway, let's jump right in and get back to Season 1, Episode 8, The Pointy End.
Dracarys.
So let's jump right back in. In our first scene, we have Arya and Syrio practicing their water dancing.
Left high, left low.
Alright, so obviously this episode opens up with Arya. This is going to focus on Arya and her theme about losing her identity. So in this first scene, I noticed that Syrio said to Arya, left high, left low. And of course, in the context of the scene, he's just talking about blocking swords and all that good stuff. But it started making me think, what if it's talking about Arya as in she's leaving King's Landing, highborn, and of course she goes over and becomes a faceless man in Bravos, and she left there as more of a lowborn, going through all her different identities. She was a beggar, she was Blind Beth, etc. So I think that's a bit of a reach. There's not necessarily a payoff scene for that, but I thought it was pretty interesting. And also before Sir Meryn Dickhead comes in, we also hear Syrio say this.
Right low, lunge right.
So he says lunge right, and of course later on in the episode we see this.
Come here.
Leave me be. My father's a lord. He'll reward you.
She'll reward me. The queen.
Stay away!
So this was her very first kill, and damn sure if she didn't lunge right. And then we cut to a scene with Sansa and Septa Mordane heading down the hallway, and of course this was after Ned was betrayed and thrown into the Black Cell, so now the Lannisters are on a rampage killing all the Stark people. But specifically, Sansa says this.
She's with him every morning. She always comes back with scrapes and bruises. She's so clumsy. Hush.
So again, this goes back to the Arya theme here as far as her losing her identity crisis throughout the show. And Arya may be clumsy now, but she damn sure wouldn't be for long. And also during the same scene, Septa Mordane tells Sansa this.
What's happening?
Do as I told you. Run!
Now, of course, in the context of the scene, she's telling her to run so she can get away, and she basically sacrifices herself, which I still don't understand why the hell Lannister men would kill innocent Septas, but the point being that Sansa never stops running. And then we cut back to Arya and Syrio, and of course they are still practicing right before Dickhead walks in. But what's really cool here is Syrio tells Arya this.
My tongue lied. My eyes shouted the truth. You were not seeing.
I was so. I watched, but you...
Watching is not seeing, dead girl.
So basically he's telling her not just to watch, but to see. And of course later on we see this.
What's happening? What's happening?
And then of course Sir Meryn Dickhead walks in and interrupts the party, and obviously he kills Syrio off screen. Now I know this is still a hot topic for debate, whether he's Jaqen H'ghar, whether he's still alive, because of course this is Game of Thrones, and if you don't see their head removed, it's not 100% confirmed that they are dead. And this of course was the straw that broke the camel's back to make Arya leave King's Landing, lose her identity completely, and later on we see this. And it's also interesting here that right before Syrio dies, he repeats the line that he told Arya before. What do we say to the God of Death?
Not today.
And we'll get back to that line, not today, later on in this episode. And then we see Sansa getting back to her room, and we see the Hound walk up on her. And of course, at this point in their story, we're not really sure who the Hound is. We got a little bit of a backstory on him, but we don't know if he's a good guy, a bad guy. Of course, then again, everybody's kind of gray in this story anyway, but we don't really know his intentions when we see this.
I'll tell my father. I'll tell the queen.
Who do you think sent me?
So we're automatically thinking, okay, this big, bad, ugly dude, he's going to do something terrible to Sansa. But of course, later on, we see this.
about your fight.
And next we go to the scene in the black cells where Ned is now locked up and Varys visits him for the first time, and of course Ned asks about his family.
What about my daughters?
The younger one seems to have escaped the castle. Even my little birds cannot find her.
And this goes back to the theme about Arya this entire episode, because Varys knows everything and everybody before it even happens almost. He's got little birds everywhere, so it's damn sure interesting that he says, not even my little birds can find her, and that's because of this.
Finally, a girl is no one.
A girl is Arya Stark of Winterfell, and I'm going home.
So later on, Arya will become no one, and of course that's why we got the little hint from the line from Varys, even my little birds can't find her. And then in the same scene with Ned and Varys, we hear Varys say this.
I trust you know you're a dead man, Lord Eddard.
No, he wasn't joking at all. He straight up told us what was going to happen, and we discovered from this show that they're not afraid to kill off main characters. And also what's really cool about this episode is we see this line from Ned.
If that's true, and slit my throat and be done with it.
Not today, my lord.
And of course this refers back to the Arya scene with Syrio when he's killed, when he says, what do we say to the god of death? Not today. So this basically just tells you that this whole entire theme here is about Arya and her identity crisis and what she would later become. And also during this scene with Ned and Varys, we hear this.
The Queen can't kill me. Cat holds a brother.
The wrong brother, sadly. And lost to her.
So she had the wrong brother, and of course he got away because he won his trial by combat with the help of Bronn, but later on we see this.
By the time they knew what was happening, it had already happened. Lady Stark, I'd offer you my sword, but I seem to have lost it.
So later on, during the War of the Five Kings, they do in fact get the right brother, and that is Jaime Lannister. Also during this scene, Ned tells Varys this.
If that's true, and slit my throat and be done with it.
Now in and of itself, it's like an innocent line, just get it over with or whatever, but right before this they were talking about Catelyn, and then he says, go ahead and slit my throat and be done with it, and of course later on we see this. And then finally during this scene we hear Varys and Ned continue to talk as he's about to leave, and Varys tells Ned this.
Tell me something, Varys. Who do you truly serve?
The realm, my lord. Someone must.
And he certainly does serve the realm in a different way by causing chaos between the major houses that are currently running the show, because later on we know for sure that he supports someone else, as in supporting the realm, and we see this. Alright guys, so that'll wrap it up for this episode. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As usual, thank you for all the support, especially to you guys on Patreon. And a huge shout out to my executive Patreon Smokescreen producers, Hoss Griffin, Volguy10, Lala Gig, Kisa Powell, Mark Joseph, aka The Snow in Winterfell, Marilyn Bentley, Joanna, Sean Hayes, Linda Stanfield, Anonymous, and Kieran D20. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the support. And thank you to everybody out there in YouTube land. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you